Here we are. Thank you again for coming back. So, this is The Valley of the Old Farm, the Keep It Real series, episode number 5, I think. Is it 5? I don't know. If I haven't mentioned it, I do get some odd goldfish moments here and there. I'm pretty sure this is number 5. I've just literally finished recording number 4. So I'm literally jumping straight into this. So again, I think I said it at the last of the episode. Of episode 4. I've just literally said it, in fact, because it was about 5 minutes ago for me. But I haven't ignored you. If anyone's given some great suggestions, which I know I would have had, because I really do every episode, I'm not ignoring you. And I'll probably implement it or tweak some bits maybe for episode number whatever it is next, 6. But anyway. We're at 19,554. It's the middle of October now. We're just making our way back to the little contract stand, which we placed in the last episode. I think that's quite a cool little element. Just gives us kind of a central point. Means we've always got to drive around the map. Now, I was a bit gutted last time because I was hoping we would have earned enough money to get our own vehicle, and we would have earned enough money, but I underestimated just how much of a charge there was going to be for borrowing the equipment. Borrowing that weeder and the tractor cost an absolute fortune. Now we're just heading to the shop and see what we've got here in used today. And not a great deal. That is a shame. I'm really hoping that pickup truck will appear in there, but it's not going to for a minute. Now we might as well again get on with the contract. See what's available. Something a bit different? I don't know. So, we have got field 3, too big. 14 and 15 we've already done. I don't know why they're shown again, but we're not going to do that. So we have got there potentially field 20. Pretty standard sort of equipment there. It's funny, isn't it? Because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of equipment, and it only reduces your reward by £205. The last contract we did had 2 pieces of equipment, which was a tractor and a weeder, and the field was huge, and it deducted like £700. It's ridiculous. But anyway, right, too big. Don't want to be using equipment like that. So we have got field 26, which we didn't do. No, that is a different person, Muriel. So field 26 there, or field 20 seem like good ones to go for. My preference is 20 because I'm not too keen on that Kverndland, like the trailing mower. It's quite difficult to turn and line up with, especially if you try and do it in first person. This particular one though, this would be much easier because you've got a front mount and the kind of standard 3-point rear mounted mower, so that's easier. So it's going to be actually between field 20 and field 47. Where they are, there's field 20. Okay, not a bad one. Field 20 and or field 47 is there. That doesn't really look that much bigger. We have to transport these bales to the animal dealership, which is pretty close to field 20, and I don't have a very good history with those grabs. We will stick with 20. Yeah, we'll stick with field 20 because it's just a bit easier to travel. It is a bit of a pain if they fall off. There's a little bit of money in it, but it's fine. We will borrow the items. Brilliant, and we're going to get straight on with that. So, same as last time really. Mow the grass, ted it, bale it up, and sell the bales at the animal dealership. So we do know actually, we do make a little bit of money out of that as well, which is going to be great. Now, I think we can take a little stroll to field 20, not a problem. Don't know where on earth the taxi has gone. Very strange. I have the reset point set to there, so it always goes back to that point, but I don't know, maybe it defaulted and went back to that starter farm, the one that you meant to start with. I don't know. But we can take a little jog down there anyway. So we don't have any bills now. We've paid our rent. So the money we have is the money we've got. This contract will definitely take us over. However, I don't know, because these baling contracts, they are quite a bit of work. I don't know if we're going to get it all finished today. Alright, there's the equipment. So this must be the field. Now I am trying to play, by the way. Oh my god, it's put the equipment everywhere. I am trying to play with the minimap op now. So yeah, where possible, I will make sure that minimap stays off. And things like this, by the way, we'll always leave the fences in place. I know you can remove the majority of them, but I just prefer it. It's more of a challenge. I take it they have a collision. They do. Yeah. So we'll keep all the fences on. We won't be doing that. Now, nice to get a different tractor. It's the first time we've had a slightly different tractor than the Vultra. So we'll jump into this fence. Not going to hang about today. Just going to get straight onto it. I think the first 3 or 4 episodes, I've done an okay job at trying to kind of suggest some of the rules that I'm thinking of in my head. But please, by the way, if you find something, if you're playing and you notice there's a good mod which I'm not using, let me know. There's a chance I might be using it, I've just forgot to mention it, or there's a chance that I haven't even seen it. So I would like to know what it is, because again, I want this to be quite challenging. So yeah, please do. I'm actually even ruining someone else's field there. This is not very good at all. Okay. Maybe I didn't line up to that very well. That wasn't realistic, was it? But anyway, let's get straight on with this now. Try and do this without smashing the equipment. Now, I haven't noticed actually the fields doesn't seem to be damaging the ground. The mod seemed to suggest that it would do, but I don't know. Now, I didn't connect everything, did I? PTO. That doesn't need hoses. I did that last time. PTO hoses. Brilliant. Now, this mower, I want to say, is going to swing out to my left. So let's lower the front mower down and fold it. We'll try and drive in. And spin that back mower out. There we go. And we'll just reverse back. So we need to avoid slippage as much as possible, because at this stage, cutting the grass, we need as much as possible. I think there probably is a risk of actually failing the contract because you haven't got enough grass left. So we need to go easy on this one. Fortunately, this is a pretty damn flat field. So this, I don't think is going to take too long. And yeah, it's decent money. Now, obviously, I haven't seen any comments off the back of episode 4, I think it was. Did I say episode 4? But hopefully, I kind of mentioned at the end of it that I wanted the ROLEPLAY. Hopefully, everyone kind of likes the sound of that. Either way, it's what I'm going to go for, because it just looks cool. I like the look of it. So in this episode, hopefully that's what we're going to get, unless something comes up in the shop, something drastic changes in the shop that will completely change our mind, because money is tight. But yeah, I think that's the way we're going to go. ROLEPLAY. So I hope everyone's doing alright. Anyway, I live in Cornwall. Cornwall's really nice when it's sunny. It's only sunny for maybe 1 week of a year, but when it is sunny, it's really nice. So I went to St Ives. Don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. It's only down the road from me, to be honest. It's probably a 10-minute drive, but it's quite a kind of holiday, a touristy destination. So I went there yesterday. Took the kids down there. It's amazing, really, when you live in a place like this, a place with so many beaches and so many different kind of nice things to do. Actually, you take it for granted and you don't really do it. Just kind of becomes a normal thing. And yeah, I didn't do it. So my children, my middle one is 10, nearly 11 next week. She does like to remind me quite a bit. It's going to cost me a fortune. She wants some Air Force Nikes. Brilliant. Expensive taste, and she's only 11. And then my youngest, who is 5, they hadn't actually been on, at that age, considering how close I live to the sea, they hadn't actually been on a boat trip, which is a bit poor really, a bit poor of me I guess. So I had to fix that. So yeah, we went on a nice boat trip from St Ives around to what they call Seal Rock. It's kind of a big massive rock a little bit further out to sea where a lighthouse is on an island, and just kind of, yeah, did a little tour around that I guess, which was quite cool. Cost me 50 quid. I did manage to get a little bit of local discount on by dropping the fact that I'm not a tourist, and they did knock it down a little bit, but still charged me 50 quid for it. But that was quite nice. They didn't appreciate the seasickness off the back of it though, so at least I knew I haven't got to spend that much again for a little while. That's probably put them off temporarily. But yeah, that was pretty good. And the even better news is I've actually got a week off work next week. Didn't even realise until I went to print off the rota for all of my management team and share that rota out. I looked at it and thought, oh, I do. I'm actually off next week. A nice whole week of annual leave. So yeah, so that will give me a real good chance to catch up on some content. Great news, by the way. I will share it. I've earned my first cup of coffee. So that's what it's all about for me. This is just kind of this whole channel is just creating a bit of a coffee fund for me. So yeah, I'm up to, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 quid I've earned now in the last what day are we now? It's Thursday today for me. So it's Thursday evening and I've earned just under 6 quid. Wow, £6. That's 2 cups of coffee. Which is great because I spend it on coffee, which means I stay awake a little bit longer, therefore create more content. So that's what it's all about really, isn't it? Now let's try and line this up so I'm not wasting passes. Oh, not doing that very well. That's better. So yeah, good news. It's quite an achievement that. My first cup of coffee. Ideal. Okay, I kind of failed at that. I was too busy chatting, to be honest with you. Sometimes, I don't know about you, anyone watching, if you play the game. Sometimes when you're mowing, these kind of mows, it's just easier to keep going around the headland, round and round in circles, just until you get to the middle. The reason I'm not trying to do it so much is I learnt from the first field I did actually. By going round and round in circles, I wasn't necessarily planning the routes that well, and that's why I was damaging the field and getting quite a lot of slips. So I do need to be a bit more careful. If I'm trying to play it with a realistic theme, I do need to be thinking about that, to be honest. But actually, look at this. I think I've only had a bit of wheel slip there, maybe 3 or 4 times, hardly anything at all. So that's great. So for now, let's fold all of that up, turn that off as well, and we'll drop this equipment off. We'll get straight into tedding. Should not take too long, hopefully. Now we'll just try and neatly drop this equipment. Oh, but I'm pressing the wrong button. Fold that back up. Right, let's just disconnect this one here. Lovely. Make sure I don't hit the fence. I got plenty of room. And I'll tell you what, let's dump it here. Let's not put it on someone else's field. So most of the time with manual attach, it wants you to lower it, but you try and lower this one, it unfolds it. So we'll just throw it onto the ground. Probably not very good for the equipment doing that, but hey, it's not my fault. Right, let's connect up the tether. I remember this time. Why is it facing that way? Why would it do that? Okay, let's try and do this without ruining the field. So yeah, I remember this time to fiddle with the kind of maze plus settings, because you can change it, and that's why I struggled so much trying to TED that field. So let's connect the PTO while we're here. Let's connect those hoses. Brilliant. And we'll load up the F1 menu very quickly, and we'll just figure out tether stage. So apparently when it's set to base game, it should work the way the game wants it to work. But I'll try it now. I tell you what, I didn't realise that they're giving us such rubbish tether. It's gone to ages. But yeah, apparently if you leave it on base game, and when I say apparently, this is according to the kind of maze plus settings, but it doesn't, does it? So if you set it to base game, that should just work the way the base game wants it to work, but it doesn't. It really doesn't. So let's change it to hay, because that's what we want. Is that what we want? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't do it that way. Maybe I should do it semi-dry. Is it like seasons? This would be a question for you guys. Hopefully someone will know. Is it like the seasons of SF19? So when you played FS19, put on seasons, you actually had to leave it. You had to. Tedding didn't do it instantly. Didn't do it at all. You had to leave it for a certain amount of game hours, and then when you went back to it, it just dried on the ground. Which, by the way, was great, and that would be absolutely perfect for this series if that's what it does. But I don't know. You used to leave if you left a bale of hay out or a bale of grass out, not under shelter, and it rained, the capacity of the bales would actually lower. Great. Absolutely brilliant, but I don't know. Does Maze Plus work like that? It would be amazing if it did, and if it does, that's what I will do. But what's the benefit of me setting this tether to semi-dry? What is the benefit of that? Other than needing it to be semi-dry, maybe to do a certain type of silage or something, but what's the actual benefit of that? If I tell it to semi-dry and then left it for kind of a game couple of hours, would that fix it? I have just noticed in the top corner, by the way, I had it on for some reason, I don't know why, but it was on ×2. And I hadn't changed it, I hadn't done anything with that, but I have just sped it up again now. In fact, to try and compensate, I'll leave it on ×15 for a little bit. But yeah, anyway, what is the benefit of that? I would be interested to know if there's any sort of self-proclaimed Maze Plus pros watching. Please let me know, because honestly, I don't know. I've never used the Maze Plus up until this first series. Never done it. Right, okay, so I don't actually, although it's quite a small tether, it's not going to take too long. It's not going to take too long at all. Why is that stopped? Right, try again. Am I capturing all the grass? Yeah. Okay, so I've kind of mucked up a bit there with the time in the corner. I don't know why it changed to ×2, because I didn't do that, but I'll balance it out. ×15. Once it gets to kind of lunchtime-ish, then I'll slow it back down to ×10. Hopefully we can get this whole field done. You know, it's not as big as you'd first think, but if we can get all of it TED, windrowed and baled pretty quickly, we may even sell it in this same episode, and hopefully this time buy that vehicle. I do hope so. One thing we need to consider about the vehicle though is when we do buy a vehicle, we'll need to kind of do a little bit of work around the area we're going to be placing it. So that little grassland area next to the house, I want to put a little fence there and make it like a little gravel driveway, just so we've got kind of a designated parking spot, and essentially whatever that costs us to do, that's what we have to do. That's kind of a bit of role play, I guess. let's kind of pretend that the local council doesn't want a kind of dirty looking rough grass area there, which in theory would be spun up and destroyed by the various kind of tire marks constantly. So yeah, we're going to need to make it look a bit pretty. We're going to need to place some sort of driveway at our own cost. And to be honest, I'm just finding an excuse to do a bit of landscaping because I haven't actually done any for a little while, and I'm having some withdrawal symptoms from landscaping, I think. So yeah, that'll give me a good excuse just to do a little bit. Okay, last little bit now. Didn't take too long. Bearing in mind we got the time at times 15. Really hasn't taken that long at all. But yeah, as soon as we get it topped up to kind of lunchtime-ish, I will just drop it back to times 10. I'm just trying to make up for that time that I wasted. So, pretty good. Didn't take long at all. Let's turn that off while we're travelling. And we'll reverse that back up. So now we need to get on with the windrowing. Now, it's a small windrower. It's a really small windrower. I guess that's the only downside with going for smaller contracts, is the equipment they lend you is going to be pretty bad. Right, disconnect that one. Let's get that windrower going. Oh my, that's also facing the wrong way, isn't it? Would you believe this? Try and line up nice and straight. That should do, I should be able to do that. There we go. PTO and hoses. Right, so let's reverse back. Or let's lift that a minute. Good, okay, now where is this gonna go? Looks like, let's unfold. That's much wider than it looks actually, isn't it? So that's good, because we can start just on this side here. And we'll drive down the outer edge of the field this way, which is good. It'll pull it all away from the side, which is good. Just try and line this up now. It's not going to catch that little bit of grass there, is it? Okay, it's not doing bad though, is it? Not doing bad at all. Right, we'll try and stay nice and close to this edge. You can just about see what it's picking up in the mirror. Not doing a bad job at all. this is the kind of equipment that we're going to end up starting with, you know. Once we do actually buy a plot of land, this is exactly where we're going to start. And again, I've said it before, but not because this is like a vintage survival or, you know, that kind of series. Just because the nature of the challenge is you just have to start small. You've got no option but to start small. Start with kind of cheap, probably vintage tractors, just because we can't really afford any more. But as a priority, we do need to get a vehicle, and this is kind of set here and now, by the way, if anyone was wondering. I'm not kind of setting it for any particular year or any particular kind of date or decade. It's here and now. We just need to buy and modernize the equipment as much as possible. Okay, well, we've just done round number 1, so we're just going to flip it now and do headlands number 2 this way round. Should kind of double up the width a little bit for us, hopefully, which will make the job easier in the long run, for definite. Just got to make sure we don't go too wide with it, because then the bale pickup isn't going to pick it up anyway. See, that actually is probably too wide. Yeah, I personally think that would be too wide. Let's just try and pull over a little bit for the rest of it. Get it all into one neat one. That would be a better option. Okay, right, lift that a moment. Line ourselves up with this one here. And follow that line. Oh, we're going too wide again. This is trickier than it looks, especially in this view. Especially in this view. Right. It will be fine, I'm sure. That's better. Right, I'm getting the hang of it now. We're getting the hang of it. Okay, good. Pretty much done. Just one more little pass, I think, maybe. And then we can get straight onto the baling. Now, we may think that we're getting pretty close to being done, but actually we're not. Because we have got all of the baling to do, and then we still got to collect with the grabs, which is a challenge in itself for me anyway. And then we have got to drive then 4 at a time back to the animal dealership, which is close, but it's still going to take a few trips, I think. Now this time I thought I'll do it properly. I'll try and make the field a bit more square, line it up a little bit better, just so at least the bales should hopefully be quite neat and quite consistent. Hopefully. Now I did, let's fold this up a minute. There we go. I did figure out last time, after struggling the first time round, I could actually widen the kind of tines, I guess, on the bale grabs. However, I still realised there was a problem. You couldn't fold them up because when you press the fold button, the bales were so big they kind of clashed into each other and started bouncing around. So it made for transportation really difficult, and I'm not gonna do that again. So we are going to stick to the smaller size. And probably have to do a few extra trips, but it's fine. It's fine. We can probably do a few extra trips quicker than driving extra cautiously and extra slowly, just trying to not lose bales on the way. So right, let's lower it down. What I do like about this baler is it has an absolutely huge pickup, but I don't know if it's that big. It is picking up the most of that, you know. I didn't think it would have done, but yeah, that is quite impressive. Right, let's go around the outside first. Yeah, so as standard, I haven't checked, but as standard, these balers tend to be set to the absolute smallest size before you even start anyway. Now I will just turn on automatic drop, just because that's a bit easier. What I don't like about round balers is you still got to stop each time. It's a bit of a pain. I'm much more of a square baler kind of guy, or a quadrant baler, definitely. But this is filling up pretty fast, you know. I'm in second bale already. The advantage is, the more grass there is, the more potential kind of bonus we get paid at the end of it. I don't know if October is a good time to be selling grass, I'm not sure, but either way, we are definitely going to be getting that R200 as soon as we finish this job. Okay. Okay, well, question is, can we make one more bale out of what is left? If we can't, we never really would have done anyway, unless we were super tactical with the size of bales, but we've just pretty much stuck with complete smallest bales the whole way through anyway, so we're not really losing a lot. I'm sure it will be fine. I don't think we're going to quite do it though. Don't think we're going to quite do it. And I also don't think we've missed any, which is a shame. No, not gonna quite do it. I'll just quickly double check I've not missed any spots, but I don't think I have. So we were never gonna get that full bale really anyway. Which is annoying actually, because see how close we are. We are so close. But it's fun. Right. Wow, there's 80% in there. If we cannot complete the contract because we're not quite there, we could maybe connect up the mirror again and try to go around the edges maybe. Will it allow you to do that? Don't know. We'll figure it out. In theory, we're doing what they're paying us to do. To be honest, whatever's in there is just pure extra money. So I'm just being kind of selfish. Okay, start this up. Pretty much there now. So I've been recording, I think, probably for about 50 minutes, but I know that I would have put the odd time lapse into this episode. Just because I think this kind of works as a time lapse. So it's difficult to always guess exactly how long the episode is going to be. Now, there should be some hoses to connect. Yeah. But I feel we should have time to get this last little collection done, make some money, and finish the episode buying our first vehicle. That would feel like good progress to me, finally. And this shouldn't take very long at all. Right, so let's fold that down ready. Hopefully the back is folding down. There we go. I'm thinking we'll connect. I said connect. We'll pick up the bales at the back first, because I imagine these will be the tricky ones to do. So we'll get them out of the way. How well do we need to line these up? No, they're quite easy to pick up actually. Pick that up. Right, let's head to the next one. Certainly makes it easier to pick them all up when they're the same way. I didn't really do that in the last attempt. It was a bit pathetic actually, my attempt first time round. Okay, good. And these should now also fold. Perfect. That is fantastic. Now, same again with the front ones. Good. Okay. It's the back one, tilted back. There we go. Travelling position. Right. Let's sell these now at the animal market. Just see how much of a percentage of the job is going to get done by getting rid of these four. I think there's probably another 2 full loads to do yet. So yeah, we're not going to be finishing this too quickly. But right, we're on the road. So beacons on. Best behaviour. Just about make out the bales in the mirrors, so I know that they're still there connected quite well. I'm pretty sure if I cut down here, the animal dealership is just ahead of us. Okay. Just up here. Now I know you have to unfold them for it to accept them. Good. 28% is transported. Contract on field 20 is 20% complete. Now it already said, someone did tell me actually, you need to make sure that by the time you cut the grass it's already at 20%. Which I did. But then it just said it's at 20% complete, so I don't know. I think the whole cutting, baling and tedding might be a little bit bugged. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's have a quick look now actually. So we've done 66% apparently. So hopefully we're not going to have any issues. Second load, 86%. Contract is finished. Wow. So we've made £495 out of those bales. And the contract is finished. It's green, which means it hasn't bugged like it did last time. But I'm pretty sure there's 4 more bales still at the field. I'm sure there might even be 5. This is pretty good, this is pretty good. I'm curious to know, and again, I am no expert at this game. No matter how many thousands of hours you put into the game, there's always something you learn every time. And I'm curious to know, do I keep the bales? When I finish this contract, if I was to keep the bales instead of sell them, do I keep them? Or do they vanish as soon as you hit complete and collect your money? Because it would be good to know, not now, but in the future, if we're struggling a bit, say we needed some straw, or we needed some grass bales like we're doing, or hay, for animals if we decided to get sheep or goats or pigs or whatever. Would these bales stay? Would I be able to keep them? Yeah, I would quite like to know that, because that does change quite a bit, I think. Okay, collected. Here we go. This should be pure profit now. There were just 4 bales left, but ideal. 4 full bales, 18,000 litres worth of extra money, bonus money. I'm happy with that. Super happy with that. So we'll just take them there now. Feels like good. I'm honestly feeling like times 10 is a good speed. So a big job like this one, we are still experiencing a bit of nighttime work, which is good, because I don't want the whole series to always be in the day. I want it to realistically be, you know, there's going to be days where you're going to have to work late. It's just the way it works. When you get into farming, that's just how it works. So I do want that. Now by the time we walk back to collect our contract, get our wages for doing this job, it is really going to be pretty damn late. And that's good. That is good. Now, how much are we going to make? Cool, another 955. Probably the same around the back. 950. God, got bonus $2 there, look. Or pounds, look. I don't say dollars when I'm in American and Canadian maps, and then as soon as I get to kind of European maps, I say dollars. Don't know what's wrong with me. Right, so stick by the initial rule. We have to take the equipment back to the farmer's farm, and then we'll have to walk back from there, so not a problem. We're at just coming up to 6:10, so we'll drop all of this off. We are already at, by the way, 22,163, and we've still got a little bit of wages to collect, so we're doing alright. This is pretty good. This is pretty good. Should we have a little sneak at what's in the shop a minute? Okay, nothing at all worth having. So on my Sask series, it does that every time. There must be something here in the road that it doesn't like. It does that every time. Yeah, in my Sask series, every time I select the shop, it's exactly what I kind of want it to be. To the point where I think sometimes it's a bit of a joke actually, but it's like I've done it on purpose, but I haven't. Because in this series, I could do with the stuff appearing, and I don't actually know how to make it appear, which is going to cause us to struggle quite a bit, but that's fine. Right, so we're just going to leave that there, because that's not ours. Let's turn the lights off for him, turn off his beacons as well. So, job well done. And we haven't really needed to do any additional work. That bit of hay left in the baler is, well, it's his ready for next time, I guess, isn't it? Now let's head on back. I do like this map in the night time, by the way. I do. I just like how it's all timed to kind of, all the lights turn on. Well, that's a bit of an odd room, isn't it? Why has that person got like a bit of a dungeon in the house? I'm not even going to ask what that room's for. Alright, let's head on back. So, 6:30. I think it would be silly to set a time limit on what time you collect contracts. I think, as some people say, sometimes too many rules are just too much. So this in itself is a good enough rule. So we collect from this. Why have we got reimbursement? Oh, so we actually get reimbursement. The hay which is in the baler, we're actually getting paid for that. Interesting. I did not know that. I mean, it would have worked out a lot more than that, I would have thought, but we'll take it. Fine by me. So, 6,667 collected. £28,829. Wow. I'm going to, before the shop shuts, I'm going to get this L200. I'm going to do it. Why not? I've wanted to use this since I've seen it released. And this series seems like a good one to go for. So, I'm not going to do anything. Keep that basic. Keep the tyres basic. Wheels basic. What's the windows do? Don't like tinting windows because when you play first person you can't see what you're doing. Optional buckets. Oh, okay, so these are bull bars. We don't need any of that. Cover, don't need that. Kind of looks cool though, doesn't it? Don't need that. Additional snorkel, no, no, no. Now, if I fit a roof rack, can I put stuff on top? Does it give you like additional straps if you buy them? Don't know, but I'm going to do it because what's this? Oh, the housing for the lights. Yeah, I'm going to buy roof racks just because when I see these driving around, they always have roof racks on them. So I'm going to go with that. In real life, if I was going to buy a car and I was a farmer, I would do a police model. A police model. Interesting. Grid. Yeah, we don't need any of that either. Okay, now, for the actual colour, I am going to change the colour. I don't know if it's going to charge me £500. Every L200, pretty much, you see around here, most of them are black. So I don't want to go for black, I want to be different. I've noticed quite a few red ones since I've installed this mod. And actually, red's a bit different. In fact, I don't think I've got a red car in any of my series. It's just a shame that it's going to charge 500 quid, but is there like an old version of it? No. Okay, and the rest of it we will leave as is. Now, license plate. A few people have asked actually. Yeah, we will try and keep the plates going. But oh wow, see how many plates are available. I don't think this is the mod itself, is it? This is the map creator that's allowed all of this. It's even got Great British ones, although that doesn't really look like the format of a Great British number plate. We're going to stick to French, yeah? So every time you go back and forward, it randomizes it. So let's go with that one. Front and back. Let's OK. Good. Let's do it. 21,500. Done. Okay, it's getting late. It's 7:30, but I believe the cars all kind of spawn around the back here. There it is. Turn our torch on. There she is. We finally got a vehicle. Finally got a vehicle. I like it. I'm quite looking forward to using this, you know. It looks like a half decent mod, you know. They've done it quite well. Hopefully it doesn't, if it's gone through Giants testing, it doesn't have too many bugs. That's what I'm hoping anyway. What's it like on the inside? There we go. Oh look, it even has interior lights. I like that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Is that what they look like in real life? I don't know. No idea. Starts out nice though. Rumour has it you can control. Oh, yes. This is something I say quite often, by the way. That I wish you would be able to kind of adjust your mirrors. And it doesn't seem to be an option. But I did notice on, again, Mr. CDP's mod review, you could. And I think that's amazing. That's such a good feature. Right, let's just get our normal lights on. Wow, I mean, it's pretty slow. It is pretty slow. Let's head on back. Okay, so as we approach our home, we are ending the episode on £7,341, which is pretty damn good, you know. One more episode, or one more day, the last week of October, and then we will be able to apply for our first loan, take out a small loan. Now, we can't go crazy, but what it will mean is actually we're not too far away from buying that first plot of land, which would be good. That will be an achievement, that will. But we are getting somewhere now. We are getting somewhere. That piece of land clearly is not as level as it looks like before you drive onto it. Yeah, it does have some lumps and bumps here. So we need to do that. That's the next thing to do. We need to decorate this a little bit. Just kind of create a proper driveway, because that looks pretty awful. Good. I'm really happy today. So it is 8:10. We're finishing the episode. £7,341. We're looking like maybe not too far away from buying our first plot of land. And unless anyone's got any better suggestions or any major objections, we're looking like buying plot number 2, which is going to be a pretty good landscaping challenge. That is for sure. So anyway, until the next episode, which again, goldfish brain moment, I'm pretty sure is episode 6 next, which should be probably, I don't know, into next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, by the time you see that episode. So thank you very much for watching. As always, give me loads and loads of comments, because the more comments I get, the more subs I'm getting, which just means that people are getting to see what I do, and that's what I want. So I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has a really good time in the meantime. Until I see you for the next one, cheers and gone.